What's up, guys? I'm back again. Dan Theory at Theory BFF. Part two of our Thursday episode. So during the season, our Thursday episodes are going to be keep an eye out on. These are deep waiver wire stashes, dynasty stashes. These are probably going to be the quickest and shortest videos of our shots for things during the week, unless news is really quiet for one day. Dynasty stashes really don't change in terms of pickup. A lot of pickups and drops during dynasty leagues are for more just yearly values. Can this guy do something now? Maybe he does great, and then I flip him. So for this, I'm just gonna kind of give you some lesser known rookie names, some guys you should keep your eye on that could provide value for not only dynasty but for redraft for this season. Some of these players are already known. Some of them are rookies that have some background to them. But just names that you guys out there who don't know or are looking for that edge may be looking for this guy. So we're just going to jump into this really quick. Um, I'm not going to really do quarterbacks because there really isn't. Quarterbacks are the most um, shown position. Everyone knows quarterbacks. Everyone knows the backups for the most part. Everyone knows all the rookies for the most part. If there's going to be one mention, I'll mention Nathan Peterman here. He's the backup to Tyrod Taylor in Buffalo. He earned that backup job even before Yates got put on IR. Or, yeah, I believe he got put on IR. Either way, don't worry about Yates. But in terms of Peterman, I know we've spoke about him a lot to you guys as a show. Well, I don't say we love him. Hopper loves him. I call him the journeyman. Like he is um, the Sean Hill esque of rookies, where he's going to have a decent job. He'll have a chance to play out a long career because he's a good enough quarterback, not a great, but good enough quarterback to be a backup. Um, I don't expect Tyrod to start all season. I expect Peterman to jump in and then eventually take over that role as Buffalo continues to rebuild or continues to move towards rebuilding mode. And Peterman just has the skill set that fits the receivers there in Jordan Matthews and Zay Jones and their tight end Clay there. Tyrod had Watkins, and Watkins and him, fit really well together because Tyrod had a good deep ball. They don't really have a deep play receiver right now, so when Peterman takes over, he could have some value. He could have some dynasty value long term. Maybe CJ Beathard out of the 49ers. He's their number two there, or number three there. No, two there, with Barkley being cut. Mainly, um, Kyle Shanahan drafted him, and that name alone brings a lot of intrigue. And San Francisco could be doing the right things and building towards the right future. So I'm going to move on to running backs. I'm going to keep this quick. That went a little longer than I wanted to talk about. But here's some running backs for you guys to keep an eye out on. Corey Clement from Philadelphia. Right now he's the fourth running back on this roster. Third-ish, because you really can't count Sproles and Pumphrey as that main running back core. Blunt, we obviously have seen Blunt hasn't looked great. Um, that's mainly been part of how Philadelphia has used them. So that could change, but I expect Blunt to potentially be cut at some point. Smallwood, the second back, hasn't really been healthy, hasn't really flashed much. He did okay-ish last year when he had a chance. But Clement looked like the best running back there, so keep an eye out on him, especially for Dynasty. Philadelphia, just because Blunt will probably be gone next year. Smallwood could be cut. He was a potential cut for this season, just for being talked about before regular season comes out. Sproles is going to retire, and Pumphrey is going to take over that role, who hasn't looked great either. So Clement could have some good, could have a lot of value going on to next season. Next guy is Chris Carson from Seattle. He was the best back in Seattle during preseason. We've all seen, it's been Lacey struggles and his negative has been put out on the podium to see, for the whole world to see with Green Bay. Who knows what his transformation is going to be now that he's with a new team in Seattle. Rawls can't stay healthy. Procise can't stay healthy. And Chris Carson, like I said, looked like the best running back there. So keep an eye out on him. He could earn that spot. I believe that job is wide open. Um, and then it's wide open for the taking. Pro sites will have a third down roll, but Carson could take the first couple down rolls away from Rawls and Lacey at some point this season. Next is Marlon Mack. He was my rookie crush. Landed in a great spot in Indy. Without Andrew Luck, I believe they're going to lean heavier on the running game, which means Frank Gore could get hurt. Finally, I don't want him to. Please don't take that as I want him to get hurt because I love Frank Gore. But he's getting older. He's regressed every season with Indy, which is, I believe, his only 2 seasons he's posted a 4 yards or less per carry on a roster, or under 4 yards per carry during the season in any of his seasons. Robert Turbin, strictly a goal line back, probably is your biggest upside play here. He is worth a pickup in deep leagues, and he should be owned on all dynasty rosters. Next is James Conner in Pittsburgh. He's the backup to Bell. I don't think Bell returns next year. I believe they're going to move on from him. I believe he's just too much of a headache for the organization, just with the suspensions. If they decide to move on, if Big Ben decides, to retire and move on from the NFL, Pittsburgh could then move on and just ramp up for a rebuild. And James Conner is a good back to build around. Us as the show love him as a running back. We love his story as well for what he had to overcome to get back to this point. So we're all rooting for James Conner. Next is the aforementioned Jonathan Williams, the massive merry-go-round that we've had with him during this entire offseason. Getting cut by the Bills, making it through waivers, meaning no one picked him up, and then being put on the practice squad with Denver. For this it's just he got paid a lot of money to be put on the practice squad. Sorry, my hair is all fucking weird. I don't know why that's bothering me. Anyways, he got put on the practice squad by the Broncos. Paid a decent amount of money for that spot. He could find his way onto the active roster sooner than later. At least I expect so too. Just like D'Angelo Williams. One of these guys could have some value this year if Anderson or Jamal Charles gets hurt. Moving on to my last one, it's Jeremy McNichols. We love him on a show. We loved him through watching video, through watching his rookie tape. I liked his landing spot with the Bucks. He struggled mightily. You saw that in Hard Knocks. You saw that just through news. He couldn't get the playbook, and he lost not only his role, but his spot on the roster. He gets picked up by the Niners practice squad, which could be the best spot for him. Hyde's showing injury problems, and Breida is the only other running back there right now. So if Hyde gets hurt, McNichols gets active, and he could be activated sooner than later as well and earn a shot in the NFL. I mean, this is as good of a second chance as you could see at this point. So he is a name to keep an eye on. He was drafted in if not all dynasty leagues and rookie drafts. If he got dropped, pick him up. I think he is worth a roster stash still. So just keep that in mind. Moving on to receivers, just a couple here. TJ Jones with the Lions, not for dynasty, but just for this season. He's competing with Kenny Galladay for the number 3 spot with Detroit. So watch week 1, see what happens. Matt Collins for Philadelphia looked really good in preseason. They signed Alshon to a 1-year deal. Nelson Aguilar could be gone after this season. Torrey Smith could be gone after this season. And Matt Collins is kind of sitting there going, hey, don't forget about me. I mean, you guys drafted me. He made some beast mode plays in the preseason, especially against Green Bay week 1. So he should be owned at all dynasty rosters. He could have some redraft value this year if injuries occur or if people struggle, especially if Nelson Aguilar struggles. Moving on to Jacksonville, D.D. Westbrook, Big Show favorite, Mr. 6 feet under himself, Mr. Arms of an Angel. I don't remember. Sorry, the allergies are really fucking with me. He has earned at least a wide receiver 4 spot, or 3 spot, really, with Jacksonville. His earns is the 5th right now. And he could be the number 2 by next season if they don't bring back Marcus, or if they don't keep Marquise Lee. I don't think they re-signed him. not entirely sure of his contract situation, but Lee's been off and on hurt since he's been brought in by Jacksonville. The same year he got brought in with Allen Robinson, I may add. And Westbrook is, he's looked to be the best receiver, at least the second best receiver in terms of talent wise, right next to Lee. Um, he has a lot of upside. We saw that if you watch preseason games. Next guy is Juju Smith-Schuster. He, is a fairly well-known rookie receiver. He's going to be drafted and owned in all rookie leagues, dynasty leagues, and things like that. But redraft, it looks to be he has the number 3 spot, which is huge because I believe he fills the missing role of Heath Miller. They brought in, or they traded for Vance McDonald because they don't trust the consistency of the tight end core. So you bring in Juju Smith-Schuster, big-bodied, over-the-middle type of guy. Think of Anquan Bolden on his later years. He could really be that true safety net right next to Brown for Big Ben, and in a passing offense that could just ball out this year. Last receiver is Bruce Ellington, Texans. He kind of just earned his spot. He gets cut by the Niners. Excuse me. He gets cut by the Niners, and then he gets picked up immediately by Houston. And he's now the number 2 at this point, with Will Fuller hurt and out for 2 to 3 months. Jalen Strawn's suspended for week 1, and Braxton Miller's been battling injuries. And Bruce Ellington has looked good in the absence of Hopkins in the last couple of preseason games. I know it's the Houston offense that probably won't support more than just Hopkins, maybe CJ Fedorowicz, but he is a name to keep an eye on this year. If we see some growth with Savage or Watson, he could provide some deep league flex value. Not much for dynasty, but at least for redrafts. Just a couple tight ends, Gerald Everett and George Kittle. I'm going to combine these. They're the 2 leftover tight end rookie names from rookie drafts and from dynasty startups. George Kittle is the presumed starter right now, even though he's a little banged up. When the Niners traded away the aforementioned Vance McDonald to Pittsburgh, Gerald Everett is now the number 1 spot with LA with Tyler Higbee hurt. And I don't know if you watched some of his his highlights from this preseason, but Everett fucking balled out, made some beautiful moves. He did play quarterback, I believe, in college, for a short time, or at least in high school for sure. So he's got some good open field moves in a Rams offense that is on the rise, in my opinion. And George Kittle just could provide you some low-end streaming matchups when he has a good matchup. But for dynasty, these 2 guys should be owned in all leagues. That's all I have for you guys today. You can follow my wonderful co-host Nick Sparks at Nick Sparks, but he's mainly on the show page. You can follow Chris Hopper at HopBFF. Wish him a happy birthday. I'll be seeing these guys in about an hour and a half or so. You can follow the show page on Twitter and Instagram at BeerfieldFF. You can follow us on Facebook, Beerfield Fantasy Football. That's all I got for you guys today. Please like and subscribe. Leave us comments on YouTube. Subscribe and review us on iTunes and all other podcasts. You can find our show on there. We'll have our rankings up for week 1, hopefully by today. I have mine done. I'm waiting for the other 2 to kind of get theirs updated and out there. It's a little tough, so just bear with us as we kind of get transitioned into week 1 mode. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and here we go, baby. Week 1 right upon us in a couple hours. Peace.